ViPR is designed to bridge the gap between strength training and movement training. So the whole idea is you basically introduce load to movement. And we can do it a bunch of different ways. So the very simple way we can do it, which is kind of has a fun factor a little bit for kids, is to have this idea that can I start to move back and forth in more of an athletic position, and I can do a tilting pattern. So they can actually do this tilt, but what makes it more fun is, especially if we're outside, would some of this training be outside?
Yeah.
If it was outside, they can actually let it go and then catch it. So the idea would be, can I tilt it and then catch it off the bounce? And then can I bring it back and tilt it off the bounce? And if I can do that, there's a hand-eye coordination, but there's an objective towards the exercise. So for them, they're not just doing a myriad of different squats for no reason. They're actually shuffling, they're getting low, and you've got to catch it before they go to the opposite side and catch it. And it bounces differently sometimes, and they've got to really translate that into a positive exercise. Another thing we can do is if you and I were in a partnership, you could be in a situation where you're in a squat position, and we can still do a tilting pattern. We have to lift it, but I can start to tilt it. What you're going to do is squat and catch it, just like so. So if I went here, he'd have to squat and bring it back, and then I would basically shift it and make the squat and bring it back. What I could do is, if you face that direction, I might say 3, 2, 1, go. So I might be exactly. You're exactly right. So I might be the teacher, because other students, they wouldn't play fair. They would just kind of drop it. Yeah. So if I was the teacher, I might say, okay, you're going to face that way, and I'm going to say, and go, and then I'll tilt it. He's got to read and react, and then come back and turn around. So those types of things are the little play aspects, but they certainly have a huge carryover into what the students would kind of benefit from. Are they increasing their athleticism? Sure. Is it like conventional exercise that we might give for clients in the gym? No. They're going to be more movement-based, a little more playful-based. So there's different elements to that as well. Okay?
I think the other thing that's important in the initial stage is obviously we're looking for validation to a certain extent, aren't we? So that Sue can say, okay, we proved it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So almost something that can be quantified, whether it be, okay, when they did week 1, they dropped that. Yeah. But look at them now in week 4, 90% of the kids caught it. Sure. Yeah. Validation. Yeah.
No.
And we can do a whole host of different things. So, for instance, if I was in a position where I lifted this thing up, I can do a myriad of different exercises. So it may be a situation where, especially with kids, you want to make it goal-based. So let's say you are my teacher. You're going to put your hand up. Right, exactly. And you're going to put it wherever you want. I need to, as the student, I need to lunge in and touch you and wherever it is. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a lunge, essentially. But with the hand drives, I'm actually getting a stronger foot. I'm getting a stronger hip. Because every time I suddenly move in different patterns, my foot hits the ground, and the ground says, I'm going to push back at you now. And when the ground pushes back at you, that's where the foot gets its strength.
I think that's what they learn. They know that's what they're doing. That movement and why it's good to your overall body and health.
And you said it perfectly. Because that's not now just a abdominal exercise. That's a foot exercise, it's a hip exercise, it's a back exercise, and it's a shoulder exercise. Oh, and by the way, we coordinated all those things. So when you said kind of connecting the whole thing, you're absolutely right. And so we've got, I can show you a bunch of different exercises as well. We've got over 9,000 different movements, and that sounds like a lot, but when you think about human motion, all sorts of things. So here's what we can do. Let's go to the tilting pattern and kind of play this logic out. If we went to a tilting pattern, we can do a shuffle, but we can change what we call the locomotion. So how many different ways can we locomote? Well, we can shuffle. I can do a karaoke step, so kids are kind of get the giggle factor because they have to go here, and then have to cross over, and then go here, and then they have to cross over, and then go back down. And they're kind of confused at first, but then they get it. And all that kind of karaoke or crossing over is going to allow their body's ability to move, that's going to increase it. And then we can actually then take it up and do the same thing. So we can actually start to locomote. You can get them to jump, reach, They can do a two-step to balance, two-step to balance, and then we can start to locomote in different ways. They can shuffle forward and back. They can do a shuffle and touch, come back to a squat. If you want to make it more play, they drop it. Bring it back here. Catch it. So there's a purpose to what they're doing. You got to catch